Aditama running straight on in towards the gravel trap, and that is a real shame for Fadila Aditama, the number 3, and that is going to be a 5th retirement out of 6 races in this 2021 campaign. I said on the grid that he'd been a little bit action and prone at times, and so it's proven in this race too.
Yeah, no luck yesterday in an incident at turn 10, and then this incident at turn 13, and a high-speed crash for him, but good to see him back on his feet and just trying to get that belly pan cleaned out. We'll see if he tries to get back into the race. We did see that riders that crashed in yesterday's race were still able to remount and score some points. We'll see if he can do that, but like you said, Alex, he's at 4 retirements already this season, and then another crash in this race.
Well, we didn't get 15 finishes yesterday. We had 7 riders retiring from a 21 rider grid, so all 14 that finished scored, and that you can see why he's collected another rider before going straight on.
I think it might have been Dandy that he collected there on the number 11 machine, and just left with nowhere to go. A bit similar to what happened to him in yesterday's race as well.
Lap 8 of 12 then, and Sharil has left Mia just as we saw yesterday and is going with Furusato, and they're absolutely nose to tail. They're making their way in towards turn 10 with 4.5. Back through around the outside came Furusato through turns 15 and 16 to take the win. Furusato still leads. Sharil going a little bit wide there, and Gunmia coming back through for second position.
Yeah, the one thing that Furusato wants is he wants Gunmia in this group, because as it is, if he finishes second behind Gunmia, he would still win the championship and get it all wrapped up today. And certainly for Furusato, that has to be the target that he's got in his mind, just to make sure he's able to win the Asia Talent Cup this year.
0.3 of a second as they cross the line at the end of lap 8. Separate battle behind. It is still Herjan Firdaus who has led that group for several of the laps around. Hongo
7, 8 and 9. That's where you can use the slipstream and close right up. Sharil's close enough to be able to use some of that toe in the run down in towards turn 10.
Championship situation is fairly straightforward with the 2 riders behind him. If either of them gets through on Furusato, the championship will go another race. But if Furusato stays out in front and takes what will be a 6th consecutive victory of this 2021 campaign, then he will have sewn up the Asia Talent Cup with 2 races to spare, and that's the way it looks at the moment. Furusato has been almost untroubled at the head of the field.
Yeah, he's done a really good job in this race to keep the cool head. We saw the same in yesterday's race, but Sharil is right there with him. Gunmi has now lost a few tenths of a second. He's 4/10 of a second behind Sharil, so suddenly it's left.
The duo, these are the top 3 in the championship, and they currently sit in the order that they are in the classification as well. Furusato, who leads it by 46 points over Daniel Sharil. Gunmie 52 points down on Furusato, so would need to beat him to keep his personal hopes alive. And at the moment, it's all about Furusato heading his way towards victory. 1 to go.
Yeah, really important for Furusato just to think about where he can defend on the run in towards turn 10. He has been stronger everywhere else around this track all the way through this weekend. He's going to force Sharil to go around the outside into turn 1.
Daniel Sharil, who was more than 0.3 of a second faster than Furusato, the race leader last time around, gets around the outside into turn 1, and Furusato eases him out, and then there's a bit of a moment for Daniel Sharil coming through the first turn. He's going to have to work harder than he ever has if he wants to beat Furusato, the man of the moment.
Yeah, super riding from Furusato. Forced Sharil to go the long way around the outside then to start finish straight in the run into turn 1. He's going to have to try and do something similar on the run into turn 10 as well. That's Sharil's best chance to make the move.
We saw Sharil was willing to make the move wherever he could. Yes, no big moment there for Gunmi, and he's gone out onto those big serrated curves on the outside line as well. So that rules him out of a fight between these top 2 because there's 0.6 of a second already between second and third positions, and Gunmi has got it all wrong there on the final lap. He holds on for a podium position. Sharil to the outside line then as they come in towards turn number 10. Tries to go the long way round. He'll now switch it back. It gives him the inside line for turn 11. Daniel Sharil has thought about this in advance, but he's not quite alongside. Furusato defends the position through turn 12, where Daniel Sharil passed Furusato here yesterday. These two have swapped and changed. There were 8 thousandths of a second across the last timing point between the 2 of them. Sharil gets nerfed to the inside. He takes that as his opportunity, as his call to arms into turn 13 and comes through. Then Furusato recovers it coming through turn 14. It's a head-to-head on the final lap that will determine whether we go to another race in the Asia Talent Cup for 2021 or whether we have just settled the series standings. One final sector to go. It's Furusato, the leader, on the number 15. It's Daniel Sharil, the pretender, on the number 21. I don't think he's going to be close enough coming off the final turn. It's a drag race down to the line. Furusato holds on, and Tayo Furusato claims the 2021 Asia Talent Cup with 2 races to spare.
I actually thought Furusato might have gone too defensive there in the final sector. Judged it to perfection. Really good race performance from him. Hongo takes 4th. Thompson's up inside the top 5 once again as the